Yeah, man. Hold on for a minute. Let me get right for a minute, man. Checking my Facebook
Purchase
page
your tracks today.
and my Instagram page and my Snapchat page. We'll get it back.
See you flossing on Instagram, stay posting on Facebook.
It's the I See What You're Doing podcast. I'm Mr. I See What You're Doing. And as always, I see what you're doing. And as always, I see what you're doing. You ever wanted to go back to a time where the world was more simpler? I like shit. Cliche, I want my MTV. You know, who was the president then? Because shit, gas prices was down and you could buy food and all that shit. I came up in a time where gas was like 92, 93 cents. Yeah, I used to go back and forth to Georgia and all over the country, and gas was like under $1. Shit. Now, gas is up, food is up. Hell, umbrellas is up. Price of baby formula is up. Everything's up. Even the stress level in America. Everything's up. Lies is up. Fraud is up. Discrimination is up. Racism is up. Even a UFC dome is being placed on the White House lawn, and Dana White has agreed to let Donald Trump get all the proceeds. America is emotionally exhausted. It's like a roller coaster ride, up, down, up, down. And with that being said, good evening, everybody. Tonight's episode is deeper than politics. Tonight, we're talking about emotional warfare. Because if we're being honest, as a country, America feels tired right now. People are financially tired, mentally tired, politically tired, emotionally tired. Every day, Americans wake up to another crisis, another political fight, another war discussion, another economic warning, another media outrage cycle, another social division debate, another strand of the Ebola virus, another strand of coronavirus, another strand of swine flu, another strand of the chicken flu. HIV numbers is up. STD numbers is up. You know what's not up? Pay rates are not up. Affordable health care is not down. The morale of America is down. But what happened to those gas prices coming down? What happened to food prices coming down? What happened to the war with Ukraine and Russia being over day one? And after a while, people start reacting logically and start reacting emotionally. That's where the country is right now. We're living in the era where fear spreads faster than facts. Anger spreads faster than understanding. And division spreads faster than unity. But tonight's conversation is not about picking political sides. Tonight's conversation is about understanding how fear works, how power works, how media shapes perception. We always do that, how media shapes perception. How politicians influence emotions, and how ordinary American people are caught in the middle of it all. Because beneath every headline is a deeper question. Who benefits when Americans are divided? That's what we're unpacking tonight. Let's cook. I want to go back and look at something that they said. How politicians influence Americans and how ordinary Americans, remember, key word in that is ordinary Americans get caught in the middle of it all. You ever been outside in the rain, outside when people are playing, having water balloon fights or playing with water guns? Excuse me, let me take this off. Playing with water guns or a lot of different things that kids do in the summertime. I'm using it as a cliche right now. You ever get caught in the middle of some shit that you had nothing to do with? Kind of like spreading rumors and shit, right? And they go, such and such said this, and this guy said that, and then this guy was standing there. You was just standing there minding your business, but you were there. You feel me? You were there. Which is kind of like what's going on in American history right now. You don't even have to be involved in the shit that's going on right now, but you were there. We there. And you get affected by it. Kind of like two bullets getting in the fight. You standing there and then they stumble and shit backwards and one of them fall on you or step on your toe. And now you pissed. And whether you know it or not, deep down inside of you, there's something that clicks inside of you where you can respond and be effective in defending yourself. But you look at the size of the bullet and you decide that it may not be the best thing to do. I'm going to change that today. First topic is, are we moving toward another war? America, Iran, and the cost of global tension. And the cost of global tension. When they say global tension, they're talking about all of the countries in America choosing a side. They're not going to tell you that, but most of the countries are choosing a side. I wanted to go and talk about how our president went to China and then China brushed that visit off like it never fucking happened, but that's not what I want to talk about today. Tensions between the United States and Iran continue escalating as military positioning, regional instability, and political rhetoric intensify globally. Political analysts are warning that America may be entering another dangerous foreign policy era where conflict abroad began shaping domestic life at home, which it is. The Trump administration continues pushing aggressive strategic pressure against Iran, while supporters argue that strong leadership is necessary to prevent attacks against Americans' interests and allies. Let me pause right there. Every time I get on here, something happens. So I can go right there. All right. I can go from right there and I can give you this great spiel about what we're looking at from that particular point right there. But I shall proceed on, but I wanted to stop right here. Strong leadership is necessary to prevent attacks against American interests and allies. And the conundrum that I have in that particular space right there is this right here. American interests. The number one interest in America for Americans is not whether Iran has a nuclear weapon or not. Right? You talk about a golden dome over Israel, but separate from 9/11, who has ever really touched America with anything? Who has ever attacked America and had been successful? I know somebody's going to pull up Pearl Harbor, but shit, I mean, we talking about America. I know that was Pearl Harbor. That was Hawaii, still America. But past that, the mainland, who has ever entered the mainland and successfully attacked America or threatened America? No one. No one. Shit. Conspiracy theorists say that 9/11 was an inside job. Still up for debate. Because up until that particular point, and you know how TSA is at the airport, that shit really don't happen. American interests are centered. Joe, what up? America is stronger than we have ever been before as a country. We just have soft citizens revolting change. Welcome back, Joe. I missed you, man. I beg to differ with what you said, but and if you would explain to me why you consider America to be as strong as it ever was when democracy is in shambles, the Republican Party is in shambles, the Democratic Party is in shambles. Who's stronger in America right now? Right now, who's stronger? But let's continue on. Shout out to Joe, man. And just for the record, while I'm doing that, I'm glad Joe pops in because he keeps me going. Revolting against America. No one's revolting against America. We're revolting against a ideology that does not work. Not if you call it the United States of America. Because we know that the states are not united. We have political parties that attack governors, that run country, that run states that are Democratic or Republican. And American people live in those particular states. The ideology is one that we do not agree on. Not all Americans agree on that. But isn't that the right for me to have my opinion about whether I think it's right or wrong? Isn't that my opinion? Isn't that my right to be able to say I disagree with the way and the direction that this country is going in? Isn't it my right to say that an attack on voting rights? But then, I mean, that answers the question for me when I consider individuals like Joe. The motto used to be for the people. Now it's for certain people. So I stopped at Americans' attack against American interests. Oh shit, Americans. I thought it was Americans. I'm sorry. American interests, which I still believe that affordable housing, lower gas prices, equal opportunity for everyone should be the interest of America. Feel? Not the fact that you have some people that want to be dignitaries of God or rule over, lord over people, make America great again. When? When was America great? Never mind. I already know the answer. At the same time, critics fear the world may be moving towards another prolonged geopolitical conflict that could dramatically affect the economy, military spending, and civilian life, which it already does all of that. You got military soldiers right now you got soldiers in the military right now that's not getting paid. Hell, you got federal government workers that's not getting paid right now. Secrets out, Joe. Secrets out. The U.S. government is very much for the people. When the people don't want more than they deserve from their country, Trump has put us in a position of great power, and that comes with a price. What price? For American people to suffer? Is that the price? For American people to suffer, that's the price that you pay. Hell, he don't even attack. Listen, my man don't even attack just one party, whether you believe it or not. Trump does not attack just one party. He attacked everybody in this country that doesn't believe what he believes. And that's not America. That's not Republican Party or Democratic Party. That's American citizens, some of which voted for him, are going through the same struggle and stress that the other side is going through. And let me be clear about it, so I can go back and verify to you guys from way back when. Left wing, right wing, same bird. So I don't just pop with I don't really just pop with jump off on Republicans. I jump off on everybody who fuck up, everybody who's not doing what they say they're gonna do. Hands are tied. I can't get it done. Are you really trying? Because I mean, it's a lot of shit getting done right now that has never been able to get done in the history of this country. You feel me? I want to remind you of something significant about that Voters' Right Act from 1965 to where we're at right now. It had not even been in play 100 years before somebody came in and wanted to turn it around. But at the same time, critics feared that this move could affect the economy, military spending, and civilian life. And historically, Americans have seen this pattern before. War discussions often began overseas, but eventually impact gas prices, inflation, taxes, mental health, military families, and national division back home. All of the things that which are happening right here. It also affects Joe's ability to be non-biased and honest about the state of this country. Because if you allow someone to get on media programs and YouTube and all of these different platforms and tell you that this country is in a better position now than it was, that speaks to the character of the person. That speaks to the character of the person, and you're not really truly being honest. But then again, let me retract that. You are being honest. You being honest with the upbringing and what's inside of you. You feel me? Now I feel like I'm attacking Joe, but I'm not. I'm just saying, because Joe has every right to say everything he's saying, and I have every right to disagree with the things that I find to be flawed in Joe's conversation. Get it? But he has every right to say all of the things that he's saying if he believes that America is in a better position. So I was watching the president's cabinet meeting, right? And let's do that, because I mean, shit, I'm so versatile with this shit, right? Joe had made me switch up the thing. I did 2 or 3. Joe, it doesn't actually mean that I just accept what is going on and you do not and want to start a riot until everyone follows you. I'm sorry. Joe said, doesn't actually mean I just accept what is going on and you do not and want to start a riot until everybody follows you. I don't want to start a riot, Joe. Listen, bro, I don't want to start a riot. This is not something to put people in a position where they just have to go out. Oh yeah, let's go out and fight. We already started that. We already had that right. The riot you talking about, we already had that right. We know what date that riot happened on. We already had that riot. People finna get paid for that riot. To the tune of 1.7, $1.8 billion. Put people in jail, and then there's a bunch of criminals running the country. So the riot that you talking about, Joe, we already had that riot. But here's the problem with your logic. If you did say that I was trying to start a riot until people follow me, I don't want to start that riot. I don't care to see people attack American citizens or Start a revolution. I don't care to see none of that. My issue is play the thing fair. You feel me? Because it's not fair right now. It's not fair right now. The biggest focus, just more Americans looking for that bag off working Americans. If we all work together, this will be a great country. Okay, so let's do that, Joe. Let's do it. Can you bring that back up, DC? Because Joe said just more Americans looking for that bag off working Americans. If we all work together, this will be a great country. Cool. So let me explain something to you, Joe. Which Americans are you referring to when you say just after that bag? Because this country was built on the idea that there was an American dream. And that American dream was to be able to provide for your family and to live comfortably in this country, right? This was a land of opportunity, but everybody doesn't get an opportunity. Per affirmative action and DEI and all that coming in place to give people an opportunity, right? And then comes along a presidential cabinet that wanted to remove all the things that gave people an equal opportunity. Also, under that same premise, said in a couple of different messages, fact check, that DEI and affirmative action and those type of programs allowed for white people to be discriminated against, white men to be specific, right? And then you say, if we all work together on what? Because in order for you to work together, then there had to be a place where you find out that the United States of America, that moniker, had to cover everyone. And then you look back and you find out through history, it has not always covered everyone. It's been race specific. And the way that this country is going is reverting back to a time where you can be discriminated while saying you're being discriminated against. And that's the smoke screen. You feel me? Everybody should be chasing the bag because that's the American dream, to be rich and to be rich, to be financially stable, to provide for your family and all of that. You feel me? All for working Americans. Which working Americans are you referring to now? Because in order for it to be working Americans, everybody has to have an opportunity to work, right? But if you discriminate against people, then everybody doesn't have the opportunity. And then some people have disabilities and they have put time into this and and bust their ass in this country, went to war for this country. I work in the industry where I get a chance to see veterans homeless. And that's not just people of my color or my race. That's white American soldiers who went to war and gave their lives for this country and livelihood, left their families behind and everything, and came back here. Is there a particular reason why they should be homeless? And if everybody's working together, then Democrats and Republicans and the president should all be working in unison to make sure that the American dream is available for everyone. And it should be equal across the board. If you've already got there and you already got your bag, then you have no right to look down on anyone. Because remember, unless you came from a place where you had always had financial stability, then you had to climb a ladder. So why would you try to trip up someone or stop someone else from climbing that same ladder and achieving those same goals? You get what I'm saying? Work together. In order for you to work together, you have to humble yourself and come down off of your horse and be realistic about what's going on in the world. All that fly rhetoric that be going on, it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? See, when you say those type of things, chasing the bag, they have laws getting passed now where they want to strip some trades and some careers of professional status, registered nurses and all those type of things. They want to strip those people of their professional status. Work together on what? I consider that there is some work being done to dismantle 46 presidents prior. No, I'm sorry, 45 presidents prior to this president worked to build. Come on, man. You playing with it. This don't come on here and just play with me. You feel me? I don't do that. Just so we can be clear one more time. So we can get Joe's statement corrected. We're not here to cause anyone to write. But let's keep going. The biggest focus of this cabinet meeting, this was the cabinet meeting that was held yesterday, centered around Iran and the growing pressure between the United States and the Iranian government. Why is this such a big deal, bro? Like, if they got a nuclear weapon, show it to us. We want to see the weapon. Just like when weapons of mass destruction, we want to see the weapons. Don't just say they got them and then don't show us the weapons. We want to see them. We want to see them. To a country that really don't even have a nuclear program. All right. President Trump reportedly made it clear that his administration believes Iran is attempting to stall negotiations strategically in hopes that political power in Washington changes after the midterm. The discussion reportedly included ceasefire extensions, sanction pressure, oil shipping concerns, military deterrence, nuclear negotiations, and protecting U.S. allies in the region. That last one is the one, protecting U.S. allies in the region. Really has nothing to do with us because, I mean, shit, not Obama, not Biden, not Trump in his first term had a problem with Iran and nuclear weapons. Because if it was a problem now, it was a problem then. Whatever. Trump accused Iran of attempting to wait out the administration politically. I wait till the change of guard, right? Nuclear negotiations remain active behind the scenes. Military readiness continues being emphasized publicly. Midterm election pressure connected to foreign policy. That's the other thing. Midterm elections. I can tell you, I've heard a lot of them and seen a lot of these people say, if Democrats get control of the House and the Senate, they lose midterms. It's a lot of people that's going to go. It's a lot of people that's going to get locked up for this type of shit. For the things that happen. Come on. I showed y'all that shit. I showed y'all that. Steve Bannon said it. I showed it to y'all. I showed you what he said. I showed you. Listen. It's centered around fear. Epstein, the Epstein files disappeared, but they'll be back. Trust me. So, alongside of that, we have to deal with gas prices, inflation, and economic fear. Plus, we have a new Fed chair, who the expectation with that particular Fed chair is that he's going to cut rates. I was out at the gas station today, which surprised me that gas was $3.95, which is not motherfucking impressive because, again, I told you when I first started, I can remember when gas was 90. I can remember when gas was 90 cents or $1. That's how far that should go back. I can remember. So economic pressure inside of this particular cabinet meeting was another major topic during the meeting. Cabinet members discussed fuel prices, inflation, pressure, consumer frustration. Consumer frustration. That's the one that they should serve. Consumer frustration. The American people's frustration with this particular government. That's the one they should serve. Because that's the most important thing here. Outside of gas prices and inflation, if you listen to what the American people are saying, you can govern this country and push this country forward by what the American people are saying as a whole, not as a class, not as a particular party, but as a whole, right? Because it still says the United States of America, right? One band, one sound, one country, one nation under God. For the Christians in the room, or the Christian nationalists in the room, the thing said, one nation under God. That was in the Pledge of Allegiance that you made to the flag. One nation under God. They also spoke about global oil instability and economic anxiety connected to international conflict. Americans often judge leadership based on grocery prices, gas prices, rent, wages, and everyday survival. Rising gas prices remain a concern. Inflation pressure continues affecting public confidence. Republicans are worried about affordability frustrations. Working class voters, dissatisfaction remains important politically. Now, I heard the man say inside that cabinet meeting that America has plenty of oil, and they do have plenty of oil. The problem with that is if you have plenty of oil, then I would think that it shouldn't be a price with you bringing down gas prices and things, unless it needs to be sold. Hold on, now I'm not done just yet, but if you're gonna sell it, then shit. We all know that the man clearly said, I don't think about American people's financial situation. I'm parched. Joe, did you leave me? Damn. I lost my friend, y'all. Joe left me. Said the other thing that they spoke about was national security and military strategy. First of all, let me explain something to you. The Secretary of Defense. The Secretary of Defense, I would think, would have to be a military strategist. Something like a General Colin Powell, Norman Schwarzkopf, somebody who has military experience. Put a TV anchor man over the United States military. And this merry-go-round keeps spinning faster and faster. But nobody's merry on the merry-go-round except for the people that's controlling it. Joe, man, come back, man. Don't leave me like that, Joe. Defense strategies remain one of the dominant themes throughout the cabinet meeting. So this was a big thing around the cabinet meeting. Trump and the administration officials reportedly continue emphasizing military readiness, deterrence, strategic dominance, and global power positioning. Pause right there for a minute. If I told you everything was going good and never showed you that things were going bad, then you would believe that everything was going good. But it's some young men and women that lost their lives going to war behind a mirage because we have not seen these particular nuclear weapons. I showed you guys earlier on back in 1956, 53, 56. America was in cahoots with Iran. Just like Afghanistan, just like giving money to just like leaving military vehicles over in Afghanistan for the Taliban to just jump on and take control of. Artificial intelligence and future warfare technology were reportedly discussed in broader national security conversations as well. But then I know that if you can build a robot, that walks around and bumps into walls for entertainment, then the advancement of those particular military robots that they have are absolutely amazing. That's where the AI and future warfare technology comes in there, which could be a plus because then you have developed some kind of care and concern for human life. But for the time being, sign them up and send them off to fight in wars to prove a point. And I don't believe should be proven right now. But mind you, these are just my opinions. I don't want you to fault me and think that I'm telling someone to go out and get behind me and uplift me. These are just my opinions. And because they are my opinions, I want to give out a disclaimer once again. Do not go out and respond to what you hear me say. Go out and do your own research. I fact check this shit, but make sure you pull out your supercomputer, which they call the phone, and research this stuff. And if anybody sees Joe, tap him on the shoulder and tell him to come back because we were having a great conversation and he kind of disappeared. Bullet point notes on the military discussion was military deterrence remains essential strategy, using the military to destroy any resistance from Iran. Administration emphasizing strength globally. So the military is strong everywhere, but I believe that because when you playing war, you playing battleships, you got to put your military in everybody's country. Shit, that just slipped out. I'm sorry. Because why in the world would America be able to put a military base in everyone else's country? Well, no one has a military base in America. To that point, Joe, that's smart strategy on America's part. Officials reportedly review Ebola. We talked about that in my opening. Ebola and the public health scare. This is a new strand of Ebola. I didn't know it was so many fucking strands of Ebola or any other disease in the world. You feel me? H1N1 35, Ebola 47. Ebola 47. I didn't know so many different strands of these particular diseases, but once they come up, this is what happens. And it's just the stage that sets you up for what will be the next pandemic because, I mean, it just has to be one, right? Did you see that they acquired the thing? Did you see that nobody's talking about the people who got off the cruise ship anymore? Did you see they just literally took that out of the news? Literally told us that it was some people affected and they'll be monitoring, but never came back and gave us any more news on what's happening with that particular virus that's transmitted from contact with other people. But then I heard someone say on television, if you think the first one scared them, wait till they get a taste of the second one. But they said Ebola monitoring remains active. Travel screening procedures were discussed. They were sending Trump was sending American citizens out of this country that had Ebola to I think it was Kenya, to be observed in Kenya. Oh shit. This shit just keep getting better. Every time I turn on the TV, it just keep getting better. And I know I want to do this format today. Well shit, I started out in direction, but shit, Joe really wanted me to point out some of the stuff that was so strong right now in America. You feel me? Never said what it was, but you know, emergency response coordination was reviewed and public health readiness was evaluated. Number 5 is my favorite all the time. It's midterm election strategy. Because if anything other than anything, if we in control, we can't lose control. We have to keep control. That's the most important thing. Can't push our agenda, our one-sided agenda, unless we keep control. So, midterms and politics appeared connected to almost every conversation during the cabinet meeting. Internal concerns reportedly remain regarding inflation, public frustration, foreign policy risk, voter exhaustion, and independent voter reactions. And I thought about it. The last two, voter exhaustion and independent voter reactions, because of what had happened with the voting rights, right? Voter exhaustion, tired of this shit, man. So tired of this shit, man. Like, yo, let us just show up at the polls, vote for who we gonna vote for. If you win, you win. If you lose, you don't win, you lose, and then you go about your life, right? That's the way it was supposed to be, right? Like shit. If your team played in the Super Bowl and lost, you come back next Super Bowl and you root for your team to make it again, and hopefully they win then. Not in politics, shit. Not in politics. Not in politics. It's a whole nother avenue in politics. But let's see what the bullet point was about that. GOP primary victories discussed positively. Administration focused heavily on maintaining political momentum. Inflation and war concerns could influence election outcomes. And public exhaustion with political conflict remains visible. Out of those bullet points, I wanted to touch on inflation and war concerns could influence election outcomes. And the reason why is because the second one really ain't a big one for, like, because I said, who has touched America on this soil? Right? Nobody. Minus that 9/11 incident in Pearl Harbor, you don't really, in this that Civil War thing that happened, the Boston Tea Party joint. That's it. But it's far and few in between when they said that America is threatened by a foreign country being able to attack America on American soil. But inflation, the rise of regular everyday products, taking more money out of Americans' pockets and out of their homes, and being put into causing them to have to struggle to make ends meet, while we have $1.8 billion being passed out to criminals. See how that works? passed out to criminals. Oh, what a great country we live in. Passed out to criminals. Regardless of whether or not you pardon them or not. I mean, the act is still on videotape. We can still go back and see those acts, right? Whether you classify them as a revolution or whatever the case may be, those are still acts that should have been considered treasons. Treason against the country that you love so much, that you love it so much that when things don't go your way, you hate it enough to threaten politicians and storm this country's capital. Can you hear me cooking over here, Joe? I got all the pots out now. The fire is burning. I'm cooking. I'm even baking right now. And those are the type of things that those are the type of things that get celebrated in this country. Unruliness, criminal acts, and rioting and savagery at some particular point, right? Because wasn't there a law that was passed that you're not supposed to riot? Or was that just centered around one particular race of people? Was that just one race of people? Was that designed for just a certain group of people? Or was that the law for everyone? We talking double standards now. Because there's no double standard in America. There's no double standard in America. Let's keep pushing. The media, leaks, and information control were also covered in this meeting. Media narratives and internal leaks reportedly remain major concerns during the meeting. It's an inside job. Somebody inside is passing out information outside. And the problem is not that it's inaccurate information. It's just information that the American people were not supposed to be privy to or know, while they're declassifying files on UFOs and RFK and JFK. No, was it Robert Kennedy? I know for sure JFK assassination files. Declassifying that information. UFOs, I mean, shit, these are Christians, man. The people that run this country are Christian nationalists. These are Christians, man. They study from a Bible that says that everything on this planet God created, which would be contradictory if you consider that there's a firmament, right? And if there's a firmament, if you look at the definition of a firmament, basically, where do these UFOs come from? If the God of the universe, the heavens and earth, created everything, not once spoke in the Bible that you gave to regular everyday Americans to read did it speak about aliens. But they're going to declassify files to talk about aliens. Okay. I guess I'll go along with it. Cabinet officials reportedly discussed controlling messaging, managing leaks, shaping public narratives, and responding to criticism quickly. I'll go through messaging for our president to be up late night on True Social posting when there's more important things to do than message at that time of morning. Control his messaging. Managing leaks. There would not have to be a leak if you just told the truth and stopped misleading the American people. Shaping public narratives. That's all that has been going on. Shaping public narratives. How? By putting it on television and putting something in front of a person, which we were programmed by that, because I'm talking about you. We've been watching TV so long to where we cannot decipher what's real and what's fake. And responding to criticism quickly. Responding to anyone who has a different viewpoint than what they want you to believe. Am I cooking yet? Hang tight, because I got a little bit more to go. Administration was concerned about leaks, messaging, discipline, emphasize internally who's sending messages out. If that's the case, take everybody's phone. Go back to that phone that they used to call Neil Armstrong them in outer space, because nobody's ever told me about who was who was the provider. I think it was GTE or GE, or I think it was GTE, the phone company. Go back to landlines if you're concerned about messaging. Media criticism continues escalating. Only the media, see how that work? That phone get to ringing, but when I get right on top of that phone get to work, that phone get to ringing. But only the media that has enough guts and enough tenacity and enough nerve to tell the truth are the ones that want to that are going to be criticized. And narrative control, viewed as critical politically type shit I'm saying right now. Those type of things are the things that are going to the narratives that they're talking about, because it causes you to think outside of the box. It causes you to use your mind and look at what's being said to you with focus, because some people just hear shit in passing and they tend to forget. But if you show up at 5:00 on Thursday and you tap in here, it'll give you a different perspective about what it was. Joe, man, fuck, we must have had something else to do. That's cool. So, overall takeaways from that cabinet meeting were these core themes. Projecting strength, maintaining control, because if we're losing control, it's slipping through our fingers. We could possibly, after the midterms, not have control of this country no more, and then shit gets changed. Stuff goes back to how it's supposed to be and not how we want it to be. Avoiding political weakness, because the viewpoint is that the country is in shambles and it's not as strong as our friend Joe says that it is. My grandmother then told me a house divided can't stand, right? Or Senate or presidency. And if you fighting inside of the house, you don't have an opportunity, or you don't have the strength to fight outside of the house. You feel me? It makes the household look weak, because you're supposed to be a unit, unified. That's what unified means. So when you see on TV the fights and shit, we're not the only people that see that. And that's why avoiding political weakness. or projecting political weakness comes into play. Managing economic fear, because everybody, that's a big concern, and nobody's sure about what's going on economically right now. The numbers don't add up to what's being seen. I told you I saw $3.95 in gas prices. It's a big drop from $4.50 here, which is the highest I've seen it go. But one time I said, I should have last 2 days and then it'll be back up. Preparing for midterm elections, this is a critical time. And I'm telling you, if you ever wanted to make a difference in this country and really want to know whether your vote counts or not, this is the time. Last time they had midterm elections, every time they have midterm elections, I say the same thing. Here's your chance to put the people in office that you want to see in office. The other thing that I say is this right here. The reason why, if you are out there and you want to see this country progress into something and move past all of the things that they want to take out of schools, they want to get rid of critical race thinking and all that, you're going to have to get rid of the people that was around before the Voting Rights Act was signed. You're going to have to get rid of the people that were okay with whites only bathrooms. You're going to have to get rid of the people that were okay with using racial slurs against other races. Ain't that something? If you want to see the change that you want to see, and you don't want that to be a problem, and you don't want to be ashamed about it, get rid of the people who can remember what that shame looked like. Because that's the direction that this country is getting ready to go in if you don't respond midterms that way. And shaping public narratives. Giving you propaganda on TV that makes you respond in a positive or negative way, whichever way you want to do it. They put it in front of you, and then you emotionally have a drain on you. It emotionally drains you, mentally drains you, physically drains you, because it begins to become too much. And then that's all you can think about. And then you get to going, and what's going to happen to my family? What's going to happen to my job? What if this happened? What if that happened? And then you have stressed yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. And then you're exhausted and you're tired. That's how that works. And the overall tone of the cabinet meeting suggested an administration trying to balance aggression and strengthen the stability, politics and policy, military pressure, and economic control. In the nutshell, control the narrative, maintain strength, and avoid political vulnerability. You dig what I'm saying? So, in a nutshell, man, when I showed up here today, I had a whole different direction to go in. But I want to give a shout out to Joe, because for those of you that had missed that particular meeting, which was exciting to me, because I got a chance to see exactly what was in the mind of the people who run this country. Has nothing to do with you. It's a dick measuring contest. And I don't really care who has the biggest one. In closing, tonight's episode was bigger than politics, because underneath every headline, there's a psychological battle happening. A battle over fear, identity, truth, power, trust, emotion. And if Americans cannot learn how emotion influences politics, then politics will continue manipulating emotion. That's the real battle for America. Not left versus right, but awareness versus manipulation. Humanity versus hatred. Unity versus division. As always, I'm Mr. Iseewhtyoudoin. And until next time, stay awake, stay compassionate, and never stop asking questions. And remember, as always, I see what you're doing. We'll see y'all next Thursday, man. Be easy.
www.enter-effect.com for more info, beats, and designs. These beats available for $30 and exclusive starting at $150.